Be seated. I know we'll clap quite a bit through all this, but isn't that a good-looking group of newly minted officers we got here? Good afternoon and welcome. It's a big crowd, and thank you for coming. My name is Major Don Martin. I have the privilege of serving as the Director of Training for the Oklahoma City Police Department, and today is the department's 138th graduation for this fine group of men and women we have right here. At this time, the Honor Guard will post the colors, and Dulce Escobar will sing the national anthem. Would everybody please stand?
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets irregular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
like to introduce and bring up our chaplain, Master Sergeant Charlie Phillips, who will deliver our invocation on this important day. I'd also like to point out that Master Sergeant Phillips is retiring in early next year, and this will be his last academy graduation doing the invocation and benediction.
Will you join me in prayer, please? Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this day and for the very special opportunity to gather here in celebration of the graduation of Academy Class number 138. We're grateful for these young men and women and their commitment to their training to prepare them for service to our department and our community. We thank each member of the training staff for the dedication and leadership they have provided during the training of these men and women to prepare them for the career and service ahead. We would just ask for continued support by the families of these men and women as they enter the next phase of their career and for the years of service that lie ahead of them. Father, I would ask that your presence would be felt in this place today and that you would bless this very special time. I ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please be seated. I think that rendition of the national anthem deserves another round of applause along with Master Sergeant Phillips' years of service. We have several special guests here today to celebrate this Academy graduation and the achievements of the 58 men and women seated before us. To recognize our special guest and to introduce his command staff and our keynote speaker, I would like to introduce our recently appointed and promoted Chief of the Oklahoma City Police Department. Please welcome our Chief, Wade Gorley.
Thank everyone for being here today. It's a great crowd to support these young men and women, and they wouldn't be here without your support. So thank you so much for coming out today. I'm going to start with our city leadership because without them, these classes that you see would not be possible. Without their support of the police department, these classes and all that we do would not be possible. So I'll start with Mayor David Holt. Ward 7 Councilwoman Nikki Nice. City Manager Craig Freeman. Assistant City Manager Kenton Soodle. Assistant City Manager Aubrey McDermott. We have some other guests here that, again, the support for our agency couldn't occur without other agencies that we work with. And I'll start with U.S. Marshal for the Western District, Johnny Kuhlman. Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Western District, Bob Traster. Supervisory Special Agent Kevin Katz with the FBI. Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Drug Enforcement Administration, John Scott. District Attorney David Prater. And Resident Agent in charge, Brad Beiersdorf with Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I'd also like to recognize Chief Cawthron with the Oklahoma City Fire Department. Thank you for being here today. And then I'll recognize my staff, Deputy Chief Jeff Becker, Deputy Chief Brian Jennings, Deputy Chief Paco Balderrama, Major Don Martin, who you met, has been making sure these guys get all the training they need, Major Patrick Stewart, Major Bobby Tompkins, Major Jason Clifton, Major Ron Basie, Major Nick Elias, Major John Gonshore, Major Dexter Nelson. And without this man, this academy really wouldn't happen, our financial manager, Mike Stroop. Before I introduce our guest speaker, I just want to give a little bit of direction to the families and friends that are here. And I'll use an analogy that I used to use when I took my kids to Disney World when they were little. I'd tell them the only rule at Disney World is there are no rules. And so I'll tell you guys the same thing. When it comes to celebrating these young men and women, when their names are called or anything to do with them, the only rule about celebration is there is no rules. So you scream, yell, do whatever you want to recognize them because they've earned it and they need to know that they have your support. So to start off with, I'll introduce our guest speaker today, Rear Admiral Doug McClain. Rear Admiral McClain is a 1975 graduate of Putnam City High School in Oklahoma City. Admiral McClain played football for the Buffaloes of the University of Colorado before transferring to the University of Oklahoma, Boomer, where he attended a degree in business management and was awarded a master's of science degree in national security and strategic studies from the Naval War College. Admiral McClain was a member of the OU Naval ROTC unit where he received his commission. Admiral McClain flew the venerable A-6 Intruder before becoming the slot pilot and operations officer for the U.S. Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels. Admiral McClain has commanded 2 strike fighter squadrons and the Navy's only forward deployed air wing, CAG-5, home-ported in Yokosuka, Japan. He commanded all the aircraft carriers and surface combatants in the Western Pacific Ocean as Battle Force 7th Fleet. His flagship was the USS Kitty Hawk. Admiral McClain was in the Pentagon on 9/11, where he assisted in the rescue of numerous victims and was instrumental in directing the National Command Authority for actions surrounding 9/11. Admiral McClain's most recent tour was as the Director of Global Operations, J3 for U.S. Strategic Command, where he planned and executed the single largest space operation in U.S. history, shooting down an errant NRO satellite in Operation Burnt Frost in 2008. Admiral McClain has spent 11 of his 32-year career at sea, including over 4 years in the Persian Gulf. He has over 300 combat missions in Operations Desert Storm, Southern Watch, Enduring Freedom, and Iraqi Freedom. Admiral McClain has over 1,500 carrier-arrested landings, including 500 at night on 11 different carriers, and has over 6,500 flight hours. The Admiral has been awarded 2 Defense Superior Service Medals, 4 Legion of Merit, the Meritorious Service Medal, and numerous air medals. Today, Admiral McClain supports our wounded warriors with his foundation, M1s for Vets, an adaptive shooting program bringing severely wounded troops back behind a rifle competing nationally. He's supported by his secret weapon, his wife, Donnie, a former All-Big 8 basketball player at Colorado, and they have 3 children, Jake, an Oklahoma City Police Department robbery detective, Jared, a lieutenant and riverine in the U.S. Navy, and Megan, who runs a catering company in Norman, Oklahoma. So will you please welcome Admiral McClain.
Hey, good afternoon and congratulations. This is a huge day and it's a real honor for me to be here. I've got to take a short pause and I'm got to get something. Most of y'all have probably never seen one of these hats. It's not just a cowboy hat. It is the last remnant of the Oklahoma City Mounted Police hat. Back in the day, I grew up with a fellow by the name of Doug Largent. His brother is pretty famed Hall of Fame NFL player named Steve Largent. Well, Doug and I grew up together, and we were inseparable for about 18 years. Doug was a mounted patrol officer in 1983 when he came down with encephalitis that he got from his horse and died in the line of duty 3 days later on January the 9th, 1983. The reason I bring this up is there's a legacy of service that each one of you family members and each one of you recruits are walking into. The legacy is called the Oklahoma City Police Department. It is what I call a Power 5 department. There are no departments in the United States that are better equipped, better trained, and better people than the Oklahoma City Police Department. Mayor Holt, Councilwoman, city managers, thank you all for being here. And you go, why is he saying that? I am fortunate enough that I get to speak to a few large city graduations, either the fire department or the police department. And it is not common for you all to be represented in other cities. So for you to be here this afternoon, for you to take your valuable time, for the entire leadership of the Oklahoma City Police Department to be here for the largest graduating class does not go without mention, and I thank you all very much. Back to my Doug Largent story. Doug had 2 small children when he died. Brad was 2, and Courtney was 9 months old. I'm the godfather of those 2 children. Got to remember, back in 1983, things were different. It was a different world. Things were just different. I was at sea. I was in the Pacific Ocean when Doug passed away and was not able to get back. Back in those days, you couldn't do the things you can do now. Today, Brad Hill, because Terry, his wife, got remarried to the greatest individual in the world, a doctor, a physician up in Ponca City, raised Brad and Courtney as his own. Brad is currently a Tulsa Police Department officer, and Courtney is married to the Trooper of the Year for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So I just wanted to throw this out, this legacy of service. Neither Brad or Courtney knew their father. I'm the only go-between between them and knowing their father. And when I was given the opportunity to speak to you all, I wanted to bring this hat to show you we don't forget. We just don't forget. But the thing I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is there's 2 places you do not ever want to appear. And you go, yeah, I don't want to go to jail. No. There's 2 places you never want to appear. You don't want your picture in the hall of the department headquarters, and you do not want your name on a sign that says Officer X Memorial Highway. Those are the 2 places we don't want your name, ever. Today you are challenged. There's never been a generation that's got more challenges than you will face as an Oklahoma City police officer. I said it earlier, that things are different. But your generation of centurions are just as important as any generation that came before you, and maybe even more important. Evil does exist. You need to understand that. I'm a war fighter. So you say, well, he's not a law enforcement officer. Why is he speaking to us? The common core values are exactly the same. Our core values of honor, courage, and commitment transcend everything. You are society's sheepdogs, and I use the sheepdog analogy a lot. You are the reason people like me can deploy to foreign lands, because we know that our families will be served and protected. And I know you probably never thought about that. We think about it a lot. And we've got a pretty big military contingent here in the Oklahoma City metro area. And the kid gloves that you show to my servicemen and women is more than appreciated. You just need to know that. The wolves exist, and sometimes the sheep refuse to understand that they are under threat. You all must watch the flock and watch out for each other. Your strength is your comrades. You will have their back and they will have yours. Several years ago, I was told at this exact ceremony, Admiral, you don't have to worry, because within 60 seconds of an assist call or a traffic stop, your son will have another black and white scout car with him within 60 seconds. And he says, take comfort in that. Well, remember those words. There's nothing stopping you from showing up at a routine traffic stop to back up a fellow officer. There was an event that occurred in April 1995. Most of you were not alive. I asked Lieutenant Kimmel to give me a thumbnail sketch of your class, the largest in Oklahoma City history. There weren't very many of you that can recall the events of the Murrah building. Some of us really can. And it changed us forever. It didn't make us harder. It didn't make us meaner. It made us love. And it made us a whole lot smarter. We are not the same Oklahoma City we were in 1995. We don't take for granted things that we now call threats. We pay attention. And that's what I would encourage you all to do. Do not ever let your guard down. It drives me crazy to see officers that are waiting on another call with their head down on their phone. Stick it up and look around. Then go back to texting and doing what you're doing. Your situational awareness will save you one day, I promise you. I promise you. You'll be scrutinized more than any generation to wear the shield. I can't change that. But I can tell you, your honor, courage, and commitment will make the difference. We were talking earlier in the back. I would much rather be alive and sit at the end of a long green table answering questions than to be carried by 8 of my buddies. You've got to do the right thing, but you've got to survive. If you don't think you're role models, you're in the wrong job. Because here in Oklahoma City, that black and white scout car represents a lot of things. It represents security. It represents service. And it represents that you're going to be there when the citizens of this great city need you. And on April 16th, 1995, the call was never stronger and the response was never greater. I would encourage you to do one thing that I did. I put a rescue rope, a life preserver, a hydraulic jack, and a 4-way lug wrench in the trunk of my son's car when he went on patrol. And you go, what in the world is he talking about? What are the chances that an Oklahoma City police officer is going to be the first on the scene of anything that's called? Pretty darn good. Are you going to be ready? Or are you just going to have to wait for some assistance to show up? And that stupid life preserver with a 50-foot piece of line might just make the difference up by Overholser when the water's coming over the dam. It actually occurred. So be ready. But you are role models. That 8-year-old boy or that 8-year-old girl that set something apart inside you back long ago still exists today. And I don't want anyone representing my little children except people from the city of Oklahoma City. And yes, Chief, you know I'm in love with the Oklahoma City Fire Department. No doubt. Because I've got a long history. But my history with the Oklahoma City Police Department is just as strong. You're the role models everyone in this town looks to. I want to thank the church for allowing this ceremony to occur here. There aren't a lot of cities that you've got organizations like these churches that are going to cowboy up and say, open their doors. Thank the church leadership for doing that, and the members. It's who we are. We're cut different. We are Oklahomans, and we are from the city of Oklahoma City. That means something. And every day you go on patrol, you represent the city of Oklahoma City. And I will guarantee you, because Mayor Holt and I know each other, I will guarantee you that he is just as proud as I am of every one of you. I want to speak for 10 seconds on families. The only reason you're here today is because of the families. Someone mentored you, someone taught you, someone loved you. Don't forget these words. When you walk in after a 10-hour shift and there's babies crying in the house and the place looks like a disaster zone, suck it up and be the dad, be the mom. Families, this is your day. Just like the chief said, I could not have said it any better. There are no rules. There are no rules. This is the best day you should have in your entire life, I promise, because it's a huge accomplishment. 28 weeks of intense study, learning every city code, learning the laws of the state of Oklahoma, learning what it means to be a police officer in Oklahoma City. It represents much, much more than most of you can understand. I cannot tell you how proud I am of these men and women that are about to get their shield. Congratulations to you all. Love your families, and I promise you, somebody's going to take you to supper tonight. And if I see you, I promise you, I will buy a malted beverage of your choice. But seriously, this is a great day. It's a great day for the city. It's a great day for the state of Oklahoma, and it's an awesome day for America. You just heard my favorite song. By far, my favorite song is the Star Spangled Banner. I buried 63 of my men over the last several years. And I will tell you, there's nothing I despise more than a funeral. I mean, I just can't do it again. Know the dangers. You're trained by the very best training department in the entire world. Be aware, be kind, love the people of Oklahoma City when you can, and do your job. So God bless you all, and I know that you'll go forward with great strength and honor. And thank you all for coming today, and thank you for the honor of being able to speak. God bless you all.
Admiral, thank you for your 32 years of service. And I'll tell you what, a man that can do 1,500 carrier landings and spend 32 years in the Navy, 11 years at sea, that is a commitment to service right there. So once again, thank you, sir. One of the department's traditions is to video record the recruits as they pass through the various stages of the academy. In the end, we produce a video of their academy experience over the past 7 months or 28 weeks. We would like to share it with you now, and here are some of the things Class 130 experienced and achieved as a team.
The badge these officers wear on their chest is the form of a shield. A shield is a piece of defensive armor carried by a knight for protection during the Golden Age of Chivalry. During that time, a knight swore an oath to protect and serve the defenseless. Over the years, the shield has also come to mean the badge of a law enforcement officer who is sworn to protect and serve the public. A badge is a device or token identifying a person as a member of a particular society or group. The badge of the Oklahoma City Police Department identifies the wearer as a member of one of the finest law enforcement agencies in the world.
Attention! Class 138, strength, determination, pride.
A lot of effort goes into making that video, and Sergeant Sean Byrne in the back is the one who puts that together throughout the recruits' tenure at the academy. Now, if anybody watched the video and thought it looked fun, our recruiting unit is sitting right there, and they are taking applications. But I know they would love to go through it again, wouldn't you? I only saw one head bobbing up and down. The graduates of Class 138 have just completed over 1,100 hours of police training. I want you to think about that, 1,100 hours of police training. They spent many hours in the classroom, gymnasium, firearms range, and at the driving track. They were taught a wide range of topics, which included the value of service to our community, criminal law, community relations, human behavior, first aid, de-escalation tactics, crisis intervention, mental health, cultural diversity, law enforcement driving, Spanish language training, defensive tactics, and many more things that we could go on for days reading off. You will notice in your program that each member of the training staff is listed. The names you don't see printed on the program are the names and the people throughout the department, other disciplines, and other agencies that came and assisted us in training Class 138 over the last 7 months. These fine 58 men and women would not be graduating today if it were not for the dedication of the training staff and the other instructors throughout the department and other agencies and other devoted disciplines that gave their time to train these recruits. I would like to ask the training staff to stand, as well as any other instructors that are with us today in the room, so we can recognize their participation and their dedication to training this class. So on behalf of Class 138, please join me in a round of applause for everyone instrumental in the training. I'd also like to recognize the recruiting staff, because none of this can happen without them. And it's a dedicated group of people that go out and find, talk to, mentor, and develop people that want to become police officers. It takes a special kind of individual to recognize that, but it takes a special kind of individual to mentor it and to develop it. So I'd like for the recruiting staff and any background investigators that we have with us to stand so they can be recognized. And to give them a little bit of praise, we start Class 140 in September with 77. So a lot of work that they've done to put together that class. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about this class. The men and women of Class 138 have invested more time in training than any other starting officer in the state of Oklahoma. Recruit Class 138 began January 25th, 2019 with 72 recruits. And if you do the math, it means we lost 14. Today we graduate 58 dedicated and extraordinary individuals and advance them into the field training officer program. This includes 8 females and 50 males. The youngest recruit in the class is 21, and the most seasoned, because I'm not allowed to say old, is 46 years of age. 26 members of Class 138 hold academic degrees. These include 3 masters, 18 bachelors, and 5 associates. 14 have prior military experience, and I think that deserves a round of applause for their service to our country and our city. and 5 have prior law enforcement experience with other communities, but they chose to come here, and I think that deserves a round of applause as well. Eight recruits are bilingual, and 1 recruit with the longest longevity and determination of 3 academies, and stand by for this, or a total of 63 weeks with us in our recruit class. Recruit Roche. Now that really deserves it. We love her too. Community engagement is an important part of being a member of the Oklahoma City Police Department. Class 138 was involved in several civic projects during their academy. Now, these events included volunteering at the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma, where they packed and loaded 16 pallets or 16,850 pounds of food over the course of 3 hours. This was enough to feed 14,000 meals to those in need. They participated in the Oklahoma City Police Department recruit class blood drive. This event was so important, impacts people in so many ways. Donations provide hope, healing, and comfort by the selfless act of giving blood. Class 138 blood drive generated over 119% of the expected donor goal. The class has also participated in the annual Redbud Classic Run. This run benefits all sorts of important local associations and services throughout our community. They also are stationed a Memorial Marathon water stop this year at the 2019 Memorial Marathon. Their excellent work and dedication by Class 138, for us to say we're proud of you would be an understatement. The word proud does not come close to how we feel today, all watching you graduate. We're honored to have been with you for the last 7 months. We look forward to the future with you. Now we want to recognize some outstanding work by specific recruits within Class 138. With each graduating class, awards are presented for the top academic achievement, the top physical fitness, and the top firearms proficiency. I would like to recognize the recipients of these awards and call them to the stage to receive their award from Chief Gorley. The top firearms award goes to recruit Connor Drain. And the top physical fitness award goes to an individual that I happened to be at his initial PAT or his physical ability test and was absolutely amazed at watching him run. Yeah, you already know who it is. It's recruit DeAndre Carter. You raised a good one. The top academic award goes to recruit Tia Parker. Congratulations to all 3 of you. At this time, I'd like to ask the city manager, the assistant city managers, Chief Gorley, and our deputy chiefs to come to the stage as we formally present the recruits with their badge of public trust and their certificates of completion. It is a long-standing tradition to allow recruits with family members who are past or present full-time law enforcement officers to pin their badges. Any past or present officers so privileged, please stage in preparation for the pinning. Members of Class 138, please prepare for the badge pinning and come forward as your name is called. Moises Avalar. Now feel free to hoot and holler, but there's no caterwaul in this, okay? Gary Baker. Julio Barone. Joseph Bennett. Joel Black. James Blood. Kenton Blumenthal. His badge is being pinned today by his father, Master Sergeant John Blumenthal, and he's also a third-generation police officer with our department. His grandfather was Max Blumenthal. Dakota Boxwell. His badge is being pinned by his father, Captain Ryan Boxwell, who serves also as the Assistant Director of Training. I know Ryan's been waiting for this day for many years. Kayla Brock. You've already met this man, but DeAndre Carter. Caleb Cassidy. Hunter Castleberry. His badge is being pinned. His badge is being pinned by his father, Oklahoma County Sheriff's Deputy Captain Joe Castleberry. Nathan Clark. Nicole Clark. Sierra Cleverton. Christian Coe. He didn't tell you he was bringing all of us. Hannah Coker. Brian Covington. Timothy Cross. Connor Drain. His badge being pinned by his father, Master Sergeant Eric Drain. Isaac Elliott. Our next recruit, Brian Fisher, was unable to make it today, partly because he had a medical issue, so he will still graduate, but I'd like for you to ask all of you to keep him in our prayers. Samuel Flowers. Brett Fowler. His badge being pinned by Master Sergeant Brian Fowler, his father. Devin Frazier. Garrett Goebel. Rasan Gordon, with his badge being pinned by Timothy Owens, his father-in-law. Javon Gray. Michael Jordan. Sounds like we've got some Bulls fans in the audience. Heaven Lax. Trent LeBeau. His badge is being pinned by Father Curtis LeBeau from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Alfredo Lopez. With his badge being pinned by Master Sergeant Christian Cedar, his cadet mentor from Oklahoma City Police Department. Alfredo is also our first cadet to graduate through the academy. Spencer March. Kyle Martin. His badge is being pinned by his father, Master Sergeant Jimmy Martin. Kevin McConnell. Chase McMillan. Caitlin Mooney. Drew Mullinex. Austin Page. His badge is being pinned by his father, Master Sergeant Chris Page. Tia Parker. Mitchell Penny. Bo Pham. Nathan Plouffe. Daniel Reedy. His badge is being pinned by his father, Master Sergeant Dennis Reedy. Angel Rivera. His badge is being pinned by Detective Alonzo Rivera, his uncle. Michelle Roche. Joseph Ruckel. Bryce Sheehan. Chad Shelton. Christian Smith. Bradley Sperry. Connor Spradlin. Jonah Sutton. Eric Ulmer. Eric Venegas, with his badge being pinned by his brother, Yvonne Venegas. Justin Westfall. Chris White. Joshua Woodall. His badge being pinned by his father, retired Craig County Sheriff's Officer, Lieutenant Jack Woodall. I think as he makes it back around to his seat, it deserves one great round of applause for the entire class. Congratulations to each of you. As you could tell, I know your friends and family are proud of your accomplishment just like we are. At this time, the oath of office will be administered. Sergeant Cerna, please prepare Class 138 to receive their oath of office. Chief Gorley will now administer their oath of office to the graduates.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I administer this oath, remember what I said this morning. Listen to these words and how they coincide with that. Go ahead and raise your right hands and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will bear true allegiance to the Constitution of the United States, to the state of Oklahoma, and the charter, statutes, and ordinances of the city of Oklahoma City. I further solemnly swear that I will diligently discharge all orders and directions of the present or future Chief of Police of Oklahoma City. and other superior officers appointed over me, according to the rules and regulations of the Oklahoma City Police Department. I further solemnly swear that I will serve honestly and faithfully in the performance of my duties as a police officer, and will accept my commission as a symbol of authority and a mark of service to the people of this community. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a big hand. You guys may be seated.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, I'd like to call Class 138 Representative Hannah Coker to the podium to deliver the class speech and to present the class plaque.
Chief Gorley, command staff, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. These two words have never been repeated so many times than in the halls of the training center. These two words give recruits a real challenge throughout the day. Things start to get real tricky when it's the in-between morning and afternoon. This is the first of many problems, and when I say many, I mean many, that a recruit will face on a daily basis. I have good news, fellow recruits. We are allowed to wear a watch again. May you never be confused as to what time it is, unless you are going to be a third shifter like me. May the odds ever be in your favor. When I was asked to do this speech, I went through a whirlwind of emotions. I thought, how do I portray the emotions of 57 other people? Our mentors know all too well just how special of a class we are. In all seriousness, I look at these recruits before me today, and my chest swells with pride. I am deeply honored for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Class 138. On a serious note, let me ask you this question. What makes a hero? Joseph Campbell studied myths from all over the world and published a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, retelling dozens of stories and explaining how each represents a hero's journey. So what is the hero's journey? Think of it as a cycle. The journey begins and ends in a hero's ordinary world, but the quest passes through the unfamiliar special world. Along the way, there are some key events. The hero must have some kind of call to adventure. This adventure starts with the decision to embark upon something bigger than you could have ever imagined. I know that all of you are proud of the recruits that sit before you today. Let me share some stats that might bring into light just how amazing they are. 2,500 applicants went in for Class 138. Of those 2,500, 600 were chosen to test. 24% of people who applied were given the opportunity to test. Of these 600 people, 72 passed all tests and were selected for Class 138. The selection process kicked out 88% of the 600 testable applicants. 72 started day one, 60 men and 12 females. We lost 10 men and 4 females that make Class 138. Once inside from the application process to 28 weeks in the academy, you are of one of the approximate 2% that has made it. If these numbers don't give you that butterfly special kind of feeling, well, you might be going into the wrong profession. The hero is going to need assistance along the way, and the help comes from all of our loved ones. The hero crosses the threshold from his or her normal safe home and enters the special world and adventure. This is the part where you realize you aren't in Kansas anymore. This is the part where you realize that a hero has to solve a riddle, slay a monster, or even escape a trap. As a result, the hero claims some treasure, a special recognition, or power. For all of us today, it is receiving our badge. Somebody will also receive the best academic, the overall best athletic, and probably the best shooter in our class, which are all special recognitions. This quest has changed the hero, and he or she has outgrown his or her old life. The hero's journey exists in all human cultures and keeps getting updated because we humans reflect our world through symbolic stories of our own lives. You leave your comfort zone, have an experience that transforms you, and then you recover and you do it all over again. You don't literally slay dragons or fight Voldemort, but you face problems just as scary. Joseph Campbell said, "In the cave you fear to enter lies the treasure that you seek." What is the symbolic cave that you fear to enter? School shootings, domestic violence, child abuse? Be sensitive to it in your own life. Listen for your call to adventure. Accept the challenge. Conquer your fear and claim the treasure that you seek. Then, do it all over again. The oldest in our class is 46, and the youngest is 21. From the oldest to the youngest is 25 years of experience. Some people are almost eligible for their AARP cards. I won't mention any names, but Fawn, can you take us to get that senior discount soon? What we all thought was a graduation ceremony is really a retirement ceremony for Sergeant Recruit Roche. Congratulations, Roche. You are the longest-standing recruit to have ever gone through the Oklahoma City Police Academy. In all seriousness, I am amazed at your determination, and we are all so proud of you for continuing your dream, even when a lot of others would have given up. We have a recruit who broke the obstacle course record and then broke his own record that he set in the first place. If you ever need someone to sing for you while you are running, I have just the man for you. Some recruits like to take naps when they get home, and then those same recruits wake up thinking that they are late for class. We have a lot of recruits who are prior military. These recruits stand out from the rest. Their shirts look better, their shoes shine brighter, and they stand a little taller. This sacrifice is admirable, and to that I say thank you. Recruits, please make sure your phone is on silent. We don't want to have any other mishaps this academy. The worst sentence for all recruits to hear is, remove your cameras and your duty belts. We witnessed Sergeant Cerna smile for the first time when we got pepper sprayed. We have learned so much about each other over these past 28 weeks, and we have definitely been through many storm-building phases. We will never forget that water bottles could be so important or so dang expensive. I will keep it our class secret that we had to order the same bottles twice because the first order of bottles had recruit spelled wrong. Rec to it, Coker, class 138. We will also never forget the feeling of having our top button buttoned for 26 weeks or the embarrassment of having taping over everything that says OCPD. A well-deserved thank you is in order to all of our training and recruiting staff. Taking an average citizen and turning them into a police officer is not an easy task. I'm sure they have just as many ridiculous stories as we have, if not more. Captain Gregory, thank you for always reminding us the importance of patriotism and officer safety. One might say that you have taught some recruits the importance of history. For those of you who don't know, Captain Gregory read us a quote during the first week of the academy and asked if anyone knew who had said it. He also gave us a huge hint. It was a great Republican president that was alive about 40 years ago. One recruit was so confident in his answer that the recruit proudly stood up from his seat and announced to the whole class that he 100% believed this president to be Abraham Lincoln. Captain Boxwell, thank you for showing all recruits that balance is important for this job. I've never been so mad as on the first day reaching down to pick up an envelope with all my tiny things inside to see your massive shoe come across and kick it to the other side of the court. Major Martin, thank you for all your encouraging emails every week. thank you for also reminding us to embrace the suck. Most importantly, you always reminded us that you believed in our abilities and that this career will carry you further than you could have ever imagined. Lieutenant Kimmel, thank you for all your pranks and sense of humor. You really know how to make recruits fear for their job. Especially when you tell 3 of us that we have failed our cleat final, even though we did not. More importantly, thank you for always keeping a level head, even when we didn't deserve it. Master Sergeant Bunn, thank you for reminding us that there are no first names in the academy. Thank you for also teaching us the importance of grammar and spelling in report writing. I feel for the next recruit that calls you sir. Someone will never live that mistake down, and I think all of us will continue to replay your exact words. I have been a woman for 52 years. Thank you for being an empowering image to us ladies throughout this academy. Master Sergeant Swanson, thank you for teaching us the importance of safe driving. Some of us thank you even more than others from the trophies that they earned during LEDT. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing your fellow classmate carry around a giant cone that is named Cupcake. Thank you for always giving us the right words to get us through the day. Some of us still don't know when to be quiet even after 27 weeks in the academy. Thank you for also reminding us that we are a special kind of stupid. Sergeant Cerna, thank you for attempting to make us have bodies by Cerna. Some of us have improved drastically from the first day, and some of us still struggle with running longer than 2 miles. Thank you for teaching us how to observe body language. We started to figure out what long run days looked like, and if you had a coffee mug in your hand, we might just be safe from that long run. Thank you for encouraging us to be smarter while we were in the pit and reminding us that we could stop mall walking already. I can speak for all of us that we couldn't thank you enough for the knowledge that you've shared with us to learn how to defend ourselves, and I know our families appreciate it as well. Sergeant Lindsay, thank you for telling us when our actions are real dumb. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us at the end of the day and repeatedly asking if we were finished with cleanup. You have also taught us that laughing at ourselves every once in a while does the body good. You have taught us to have pride in this department and to always remember the feeling of the first time putting on this uniform. Sergeant Combs, thank you for telling me on the first PT that you attended, just because I'm a female doesn't mean they are going to change the standards for me. Thank you for ending every question with, I mean, that's what I would do. Sergeant, thank you for allowing all recruits to display their thankfulness during PT sessions. There is no better feeling than getting to yell thank you to whatever recruit did wrong, especially when they are at the front of the formation, not doing anything because of something they did to send us to the pit in the first place. Sergeant Piccolo, thank you for attempting to teach us Spanish. You spent so much time with us that you will occasionally hear us trying to command each other in Spanish. Thank you for teaching us how to act like wet blankets on people when they're bigger than us. And thank you for teaching us that we need to continue work and that training never stops. Sergeant Manis, thank you for allowing us the time every day to ask questions. More specifically, thank you for allowing us to ask 3 questions at the end of every day. You have taught us when we were absolutely wrong. You have taught us that this job isn't easy and that we will be amazed at the things that we see every day. And you have taught us that this job is a gift and that we should never waste or abuse it. Sergeant Buckeye, thank you for your support from before the academy started to the very end. You helped so many of us come together early in the academy and begin our bonding process. You were a joy to see in the hallways from time to time because you always have a smile on your face. It was comforting to know that you were cheering us on, even when others weren't. None of our success would be possible without the love and support of our spouses, significant others, families, and friends. Some recruits have not seen their family members since before the academy started. What better present for graduation than having your family see you receive your badge and take your oath? We have family from Minnesota, Nebraska, California, Seattle, Idaho, and many more. To all of our significant others and spouses, thank you for putting up with so much more than you could have asked for. You've had to listen to many vent sessions and also had to console us through CDT. You even probably occasionally heard us doubt ourselves. You've helped us keep our composure and remind us why we worked so hard for this career in the first place. You deserve just as much praise, if not more, than we do. You were the person who saw the recruit in their raw natural state, and we will always be your wife, husband, girlfriend, or boyfriend, even though we wear this uniform. We love you more than words can describe, and we ask that you continue to be patient with us through this process. Class 138, I ask that you give your person a hug and a kiss today and tell them thank you for supporting you. To the families, remember that your loved one has undergone a life-changing event. The changing will never stop. Please understand that they will need you to check on them every once in a while. Only ask questions you want to know the answers to. And please understand that we will have to miss holidays and important family events. Know that we have a duty, and that is to protect the citizens of Oklahoma City. Remember that we will always be your daughters and sons. Even though we proudly sit here in this stunning uniform, you still might see your baby, and never let that fade. We have signed up for something so special, and we could have not had the perseverance to continue this process without the backgrounds that we have been raised in, whether that is good or bad. Families, please do not give up on us, as we will need you now more than ever. To all of our friends, thank you for being our outlets outside of our families. There are some things that you cannot share with family, but that you choose to endure. You have made sure to keep our confidence up and our spirits high. Your love and support will continue to be needed, and please remind us what it is like to be the average citizen every once in a while. My last few statements are to you specifically, Class 138. Never forget who you are and what you represent. My grandmother has always told me this every time I would leave her house. You represent so much more than just yourself now. You are representing the citizens of this great city and hold a power that should be dealt with great respect. Remember that with great power comes great responsibility. Never forget your Constitution and the rights of the people. Remember that you are the shield that stands between people and their chaos on their worst days, and that it is always your duty to protect them. Look to your left and look to your right. Your brothers and sisters in blue will always stand true. And remember that it is quite all right to be human every once in a while. We started this journey together. Let's continue this journey. Listen for your call to adventure. Accept the challenge. Conquer your fear and claim the treasure that you seek. Thank you for coming, Class 138. Chief Gorley, I now present to you the plaque for Class 138.
Thank you, Recruit Coker. I'd like to ask now Chaplain Charlie Phillips to lead us in our benediction.
Let's close today in prayer. Heavenly Father, again, we thank you for the newest members of our police family, who, like those that currently serve and those who have gone before them, have answered your call to protect and serve our community as Oklahoma City police officers. I would ask that you would walk with each of these men and women always, protecting them and their families, guiding their decisions and actions, and providing them with opportunities to truly impact all they meet in a positive way on their worst days. Father, I pray that they will never forget their God-given responsibility to help those in need, to defend the defenseless, and to bring justice to those who would turn their backs on all that is good and just in our world. Please provide them always with the strength, integrity, and courage to live and serve in a way that would honor you, our profession, and our department. I ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Charlie. Sergeant Cerna, please call the class to attention one last time. Ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude our graduation ceremony. On behalf of Class 138 in the City of Oklahoma City and the Oklahoma City Police Department, I want to thank you all for being with us today and invite you to join us for a reception for the newest members of our department and our family. Class 138, you are dismissed.